Hey guys, it's Extra Feathers, and today I will be redrawing my very old, kinda gross Naruto OC. And yeah, so when I was like in 6th grade, I think I was like 12 or 11 or 12-ish, I really started getting into Naruto. And with my Naruto phase came my cringy Naruto OC phase. Not to say that all Naruto OCs are inherently cringy, it's just that my OCs were so typical, it was painful. It was just like a classic edgelord with tragic backstory for no reason. She was an orphan. Oh, her name was even Haruka, which is like the most common OC name ever. But yeah, I ended up changing it later because I had watched Free, so every time I heard Haruka, I would just think of Haru from Free. And also, it's just a really common name, so I wanted to be more unique. But that wasn't until like years later. Didn't end up doing anything with her or her teammates, because I also made her teammates, who were also really terrible. Pretty sure they were all Mary Sue's. Haruka was the classic emo, do everything by myself kind of gal. Oh, I wrote her backstory here. This is what I wrote word for word. My parents died when I was only 4, so I hardly remember them. Therefore, I care nothing about them. Go ahead, call them scum. I won't care. but like hearing that, why would anyone call her parents scum? Like, I didn't give a reason. What kind of person would just call people scum when they don't even know them? Like, after my parents died, I lived on the cold streets of this rotten leaf village. Then I soon traveled to the mist village and Koharu took me in. Why did I even bother to make her live in the leaf village if I was going to make her go to the mist village? And like, how'd she get there? It's literally an island and so far from the leaf village. She raised me as her own. I loved her, and I thought she loved me as well, but I was wrong. One day a few men knocked on her door. She told me to go to my room, and I did. Then the men left. Then she tricked me and threw me out on the streets. Like, what is happening? What is that? That's a terrible backstory. I don't know. And then I put quotes of like people talking about her. Here's one. Ever since then, she never trusted anyone, not even me. Because I was dramatic and I wanted to create scenes where other characters would be dramatically talking about her or something. And another quote I put, now she just follows orders without worrying about her comrades or other people in the way. In the way? In the way. Yeah, I can't even read my own old handwriting. So basically, she was emo and had mommy daddy issues and trust issues, and she apparently had traveling issues because she randomly traveled from village to village, you know, as one does when they're like 4. She was also definitely a Mary Sue, extremely OP, knew a bunch of water jutsu that probably a 15-year-old would not know. Well, not that actual 15-year-olds know water style jutsus, but you know what I mean. It looks like she used swords and kunai and scrolls and stuff. I don't know, she's holding a scroll in her really tiny hand. She was just emo. That was basically her personality. But anyway, onto the drawing. So I decided I was not going to redraw her as a Naruto OC because I didn't want to waste my time with that. Not that drawing Naruto OCs is a waste of time, but just that, yeah, I'm not really into that, and I'm not really into the Naruto fandom anymore. Or not really, and definitely not into the Naruto OC fandom. That phase of my life has ended. So I decided to draw her as if she were in the modern world. And so I gave her a crop top sweater with some puffy, like, cargo pants. They're not really cargo pants because they're not as cool. They don't have like a million pockets that you could put stuff in. And I don't have those cool unnecessary seam lines stuff that make cargo pants look cool. Because I was not gonna draw that. But you're just pretend, you know, just pretend it's all good. Has patches on the knees because I figured she would still be active, you know. She doesn't want to rip her pants where her knees are, you know. You don't want to wear down that area, so she had to have knee patches. That sounds weird. I don't know what to call it. Sorry. She's supposed to be holding like a little knife or something, just as a kind of like reference to her Naruto ninja days, but it doesn't really look like a knife. It was way too small to add much detail. Just so you know, the paper, the watercolor paper there is like 9 by 12 inches, I believe. So, and I didn't even use the full paper because I'm terrible at composition and planning things. So you can imagine how tiny that knife is. It's not even an inch. The actual blade part that I drew is probably like less than 1/4 inch. So not much space there to add detail, and that wasn't really the focus. So yeah. Oh, I decided to do the line art after I did the paint because I used microns to line, and microns are water-based, so it wouldn't really work because then it will smudge everywhere. And the paper I'm using is Canson watercolor paper, which is infamous for being not very good watercolor paper. So definitely some warps there. I did stretch the watercolor paper off camera because that's kind of boring to see. And at some points throughout the video, my camera kind of just stopped recording because I ran out of space. So I apologize for that. And also I apologize for the camera quality and the questionable lighting. I tried something new with the lighting. Well, my last video where I actually showed traditional art was years ago, and I just used my bedroom light, which was not very good. So I decided to try using just sunlight. So I had to, it was actually kind of a pain to film this video, honestly, because I had to wait for the perfect time where there are no shadows being cast onto the page, and I think I still failed because I see some shadows there, but because I don't have any professional lights, I can't get an even light across the entire page. I heard sunlight was a good substitute for professional like lighting stuff, so I tried that, and you guys can let me know how it went. There were a couple times in the video where I actually just used my bedroom light again because I was just impatient and wanted to get this done. So I'm sorry if the lighting was really terrible. Please feel free to let me know in the comments if my lighting was trash and if I should, you know, try to get better lights, or if you guys have any tips, that would be highly appreciated. So yeah, please feel free to criticize. Not only my lighting, like you can criticize the art, my painting techniques, because I am here to learn as well. So you don't feel mean, like you're good. Don't worry about it. I'm ready. I asked for it, so it's okay. The watercolors I'm using are Reeves watercolors. I think they're pretty good. I'm actually not really sure. I got them from my aunt and uncle. Thank you to them if they're watching. I don't think they are because they don't watch my YouTube videos. I'm not sure if they're the best quality. Honestly, I can't tell, especially since I'm not using the best paper. And I have Strathmore watercolor paper from the 300 series, which is not as good as the 400 series, I don't think, but I'm still a noob, so I don't know. Also, it was cheaper, so I bought that. Yeah, so I'm not sure, because I heard that the watercolor paper is actually very important to see how good your watercolors are, and I've only worked with 2 different watercolor papers, so I have no idea. And also, the watercolor papers I've worked with are both known for not being good, so I have no clue if they're good or not. The watercolor brushes I'm using are Royal Lane Nickel Zen. I'm not sure if that's the name or if it's something else, but that's what it says on the package. So yeah, Zen is in the big font, so maybe that's what it's called. I don't know. They seem to work fine for me. And the water brush is Pentel, and I got that from my other aunt. It seems to be okay, although it leaks quite a bit. And regarding the finished product of this video, I am not super satisfied with how it came out, since I think some of the anatomy is pretty wonky, which it definitely is. Her head's too big, her feet too small, and just her positioning is very awkward, actually. But yeah, so this is the finished product. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you guys so much for your support thus far. Please let me know if you'd like to see more watercolor paintings in the future, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! I also have Artist Loft watercolors. I don't use those though because they're trash, and even I can tell they're trash, and everyone knows they're trash. I don't know why I bought them.